Great good morning, everyone. It's 9:18 a.m. on a beautiful Wednesday, August 19, the year of our Lord 2026. Did I mention it's 9:18 on my Bacardo's watch? Well, I hope I did. Broadcasting today from the United States of America, the place where the brave, like the veterans we will salute today, thanks to John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, like Louis Nardella, North Scranton, Joseph DePietro, Dunmore, and Wayne Baker, Bloomsburg, and Benton. Veterans we lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our incredible, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be and set about to make sure it never would be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Not any of these things, because government power always means less freedom, less liberty, and less choice. They also knew that government power, because of human nature, would be abused. The United States of America, the country where for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. Freedom can't be parceled out to groups. It can't be controlled by government or government officials, because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press. If they use it to lie, so what? We're free to ignore them. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, these Americans, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. This Bob Cordaro show will always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. And so, we gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Well, traffic calls. I'm in front of the building for about 12 minutes. The traffic stopped. I can't figure out why. And it's like very frustrating. Anyway, I'm not aggravated by it. I truly am not. But it was just, so you, but I needed to play that clip sent to me by Mark Mayer. There is a conspiracy, some of it unwitting by the Democrat Party, but they are conspiring with the Islamists, the left wing of the Democrat Party, which owns the Democrat Party, and the Islamists, who they bow and scrape to, are trying to take over the country. They're trying to throw out the Constitution, and they're not even hiding from that truth. We are in scary times, and I'm telling you, you vote Democrat, that's what you're going to get. And I don't care if they're nice Democrats. I don't care if they're conservative Democrats, mainstream. I don't care what they call themselves. They will further this goal in order to stay in power or to gain power. That is the internal enemy and the existential danger to our democratic republic. It's incredible. Voting in mosques can't be done. You've got to get it out of every religious facility, period. All right, today we have Rick Bigelow. And he's going to be talking about the disaster that was the preparatory exercise for the D-Day invasion. That's at 10:05. At 11:05, we've got attorney Dominic Morocco, and he's going to talk about this Lindsay Clancy trial. No real twists. We know which way it was going to go, but he'll summarize it for us, update us, and we'll ask him some questions. Lots to do today, and I am here now. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. I want to play the whole song. There's no time, unfortunately. But Bobby Darin, Murph tells us this date, 1959, he released his classic, Mac the Knife. Bob Cordaro with you. And I play the songs a little longer on this show than you'll hear anywhere else. And I do that because I know as a listener, first of all, Murph has great music. And it's history as well. Brings you back to time and place and history because it is what's past as prologue is a huge part of the program. And so we play it longer because you'll be getting into the song and I'll be cutting it off. So we got to give you enough time to get into it. And I do a little Trump chair dance and all that. But before that, in the history, 1812, this date, the USS Constitution, Old Ironsides, defeated the British frigate off Nova Scotia in the War of 1812. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Somebody texts in, don't engage the trolls today. They're just looking to create chaos on your show. They don't create chaos. They give me the opening to point out the insanity of the other side. So if I continually engage, they never stop because they're too stupid to actually acknowledge, or they're getting paid to acknowledge they're wrong. And so, but I do it with purpose, not out of emotion. I promise that. Because you have to talk about the insanity of these people. Like, they literally are trying to destroy the country as it was founded, as it was created. It is their stated goal. It isn't something we're speculating about. And the people who provide the main resources, the money for all of this, whether it's Soros, whether it's the Arabella Group, whether it's Singham, their stated intent, and of course the Islamists, their stated intent is to destroy the country. It's stated. We're not guessing. So when their insanity rears its head in a text because they're afraid to call, because I control the phone calls and their idiocy cannot govern. But when they text anonymously, well, then if it serves the purpose of the program, I'll go through their text just to show the idiocy. And we remind you, and this is in a helpful fashion. The Bob Cordaro Show is your proven cure for idiocy. I mean, we provide medicine for idiots, and they slowly, if they take the medicine, they slowly become normal. It takes time. Somebody texted in, they were Democrats, now they're jihadocrats. They're trying to destroy America. Well, the Islamists are using them like they are useful idiots for the Islamists. This unholy alliance, frankly, between people, the funniest part about it is, saddest part, I guess, is that the first people they will kill, the first people they will punish under Sharia law are the Democrats, are the trans activists, and all of those people who are trying to destroy the America that gave them the right to be what they are. It's insane. And it is that insane. And we fight insanity, and we are the cure for idiocy. All right. We'll take a break, 9:34. We're going to come back. We've got a veterans tribute. Today, we got two people that I knew for a long time that were lost. And we'll give tribute to them, the weather, and more. You could reach me, phone or text, 570-883-0098. We'll be right back on the Bob Cordaro Show. Our Veterans Tribute, brought to you, as always, by our man John Basiliga. And as we head towards the weekend, and it seems like we're hurtling towards every weekend these days, time flying as it does, it's brought to you by Basiliga Hospitality. 3 great bar restaurants: the Queen City Tavern in downtown Oliphant on the Main Drag, the Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton, and the Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. All 3 of them, top quality, cleanliness, fun, great drinks, great staff, amazing places, reinvented for you. Louis Nardella. He was 86 when we lost him July 22nd. He was from North Scranton, the Bull's Head section of North Scranton. He lived directly across from North End Lumber, where I worked as a college student, and I knew him since then. He passed at home with his loving family by his side. Born in Scranton, he was son of the late Michael and Anna Bernori Nardella. His dad, he was a breaker boy. This family had a great history and legacy. Louis was preceded in death, sadly, by his beloved wife, Judith Bianchi Nardella, tragically by his son, Brian Nardella, and his daughter-in-law, Tiffany Nardella. A graduate of the great Scranton Technical High School, they must have had something in the water fountains there that made so many techies serve this country. Also attended Penn State University. He was employed as a draftsman engineer with the train company for many years. He also proudly served this country in the United States Army Reserves. A devoted family man, Louis took great pride in being the patriarch of his family. He cherished hosting holiday dinners, family gathering, creating countless memories for those he loved. Louis was an avid bowler, golfer, and bocce enthusiast. Longtime member of the Mary Mother of God Parish and the Great Victor Alfieri Society. He was affectionately known as the Wrench because he always seemed to know how to tighten things up on the bocce court during competition. He served with pride and dedication on the supervisory board of the NET Federal Credit Union. He's survived by his son, daughters, brother, daughter-in-law, 2 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, as well as his companion, Jackie Bonafede. Nieces, nephews, other family members, and many friends. Our great veteran this hour, my old pal, Louis Nardella. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga, and the great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you on another perfect water park day by who else? Montage. Montage means weather. Well, today, patchy morning fog will reduce visibility. I didn't see it. Otherwise, sun followed by some clouds, high 84. Perfect. Tonight becoming cloudy, humid, low 63. Tomorrow, periods of rain and a thunderstorm. We'll see about that. High 75, low 55. Friday, back to perfect again, partly sunny and warmer. High 85, low 59. Saturday, pleasant with sunshine, some clouds, high 79, low 64. Sunday, mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. High 80, low 55. And that's your WETA, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain, the water park in full swing, the arcade and the lodge as well. And they've got amazing specials, as I hate to say it, the season closes. Check out Montage Mountain Water Park. 70 degrees at Montage right now. That song takes us back to August 19, 1964, Murph tells us. Roy Orbison released his great hit, Oh, Pretty Woman. It's not Pretty Woman. It's Oh, Pretty Woman. Just remember that. Bob Cordaro back. Joe from Trips Park says the left operates like a communist regime. The party is run by a few, and all involved are in lockstep. No debates, no opposing ideas, or in Kamala's case, no primaries. They were right about one thing, though. Apparently, democracy is at stake. How will free-thinking Republicans compete against that machine? By voting. And it's that simple. There are more of us that are normal, who don't have skin in the disgusting left wing's game, that aren't sucking the teat on the Democrat part of the government. There's more of us, but we have to participate. That's how we beat them. Somebody takes it, Bob, love your music intros. However, I'm curious. With all music playing restrictions and regulations, are you required to compensate the company or artist, i.e. payola? No, payola was when the DJs would get bribed by the record companies. Record companies used to have basically salesmen, reps going around the country getting their record played, and they'd grease the disc jockeys. That was what payola is. Now, do we pay? Yes, we pay ASCAP and BMI, which is the two main licensing organizations, in order to be able to play music. So they get a little cut, a little something for the artist, which I think is only fair. But yeah, this unholy alliance between Islamists, between the Democrat left, and billionaires and billionaire groups which seek the destruction of America, it's real, it's in your face at this point. And it is scary. And it is incompatible. We're going to play a clip later about one of the leaders of the Democrat Socialists of America saying that the main impediment to DSA, to socialism, to communism, is the American Constitution. The Islamists feel the same way. Although I assure you, their Sharia will win out over the limp-wristed lunatics of the Democrat Party. I assure you it will. They just don't care. They don't care. By the way, we're on video, live stream, on YouTube. Bob Cordaro Show, WILK. And it's all brought to you by Roach Supply, ROCHE. Roach Supply is the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania, celebrating 75 years in business with 96-year-old veteran Ron Roach, the second generation, still at the helm. RoachSupply.com today, or go to Roach Supply in Honesdale or Chapman Supply in South Abington. We'll be right back. So Cutie and I had a chance to go to it was like an open house of some sort for a place called Nala Lake yesterday late afternoon, up in Dalton, and it was the most exquisite property. I can't afford it. Can't afford to live there, but it's really incredibly high-end project right here in Northeast Pennsylvania. And I mean, I would prefer people from this area open up their wallets and go up there, but it's going to attract, and it's just gorgeous. And we're going to probably talk to somebody related to that project. I was just so taken by it. And they just put on a nice event and had a gorgeous spec house to look at. Again, it's when we talked to Tina Morocco, we'll talk to her later today. When we talked to Tina Morocco, we yesterday talked about a place we could dream to be, aspire to be, but we never will be. That's fine. It's something to just say, hey, isn't that neat? But this Nala Lake is such a place. By the way, Bulldog, I sent you this phony, I mean, beyond disgraceful phony, Shapiro. Now he's against data centers. And we're going to play, by the way, and Stacey Garrity, just so you guys know, the little engine that could, our state treasurer, his opponent in the governor's race, this phony, disgraceful Josh Shapiro. Now he's against them. Now he's a tough guy against them. He was the main cheerleader. We're going to play the quote. You can't believe, this is why I'm telling you about this Democrat Party. Even if you're a Democrat, you're not going to change it before November. It's a disgusting repository of fools, idiots, liars, and evil. That's what the Democrat Party has become. It's insane. And he'll say this, and idiotic newspaper, like the left-wing idiots, like the local rags, they won't even acknowledge that he said the opposite. Like a couple of months ago. We're going to play what he actually said about data centers and AI. And then what he's now proclaiming, you just say, do they think we're that stupid? Well, unfortunately, they know they've got enough. There's a bunch of voters, a significant block, it might be 40%, who because of party label are that stupid, are willing to be that stupid, are willing to be lied to. And all they got to get is a few more percent to fall for their scam. And between left-wingers, Islamists, and Dummycrats, remember that Shapiro bribed the Islamists by giving $5 million to a radical mosque. $5 million of tax money. Where was the separation of church and state there? And did you ever think we would have a local candidate for U.S. Congress or any office who takes money from the Soros family? Paige Cognetti does, the max contribution. It's unbelievable. Lee says it. You're not allowed here to the data centers. We do not want you. I am against you. But if local areas want you, I will back you. Great politician answer. Shapiro's one of the smoothest phonies. He's as bad as Gavin Newsom. He's as bad as Gavin Newsom. He's as left-wing as Gavin Newsom. But Pennsylvania media has ignored that sad reality. All right. 10:01 on my Picardo's watch. That means we've got to go to news. Let's do that, and we will return Rick Bigelow on one of the, I guess you could say hidden, but certainly little-known disasters related to D-Day in World War II. We'll take a break and be back with Rick after this. You know it, brother. Great good morning, everyone. It's 10:11 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch this beautiful Wednesday, August 19, year of our Lord 20 and 26 here in the great Northeast, and I suspect elsewhere as well. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga hospitality group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Louis Nardella, North Scranton, the Bull's Head section, Joseph DePietro, Dunmore by way of Oliphant, and Wayne Baker, Bloomsburg, and Benton. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. And I remind you, this Bob Cordaro show, it's a proven cure for idiocy. So if you hearken here, you can be cured. Even you can be cured. Yeah. So one of the part of the cures is history. Understanding our history. How did we get here? It doesn't matter if it's music or whatever. But Rick Bigelow's the outstanding patent attorney, a veteran himself, a son of a veteran, and he provides historical look-backs for all of us. And there was something that happened prior to D-Day called Exercise Tiger, Operation Tiger. And it was a large-scale Allied rehearsal for the D-Day invasion of Normandy. April of 1944, held at Slapton Sands, Devon, England. And here's our man Rick Bigelow to talk about this little understood and little known tragedy. Rick, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show.
Glad to be with you, Bob.
Well, tell us about this. I'm so happy you agreed to do it. It's the opening of the movie. The only time I understand it to have ever been covered cinematically, it's the opening of the movie Pressure. And you just see these bodies, hundreds and hundreds of bodies being washed up on the shore. Talk to me.
Right. I think one of the issues was the video of the bodies being washed up on the shore just overwhelms the text that says, this was an exercise. So I think most people just assume it was part of D-Day. But actually it happened about 5 or 6 weeks before D-Day in late April of 1944 at a place called Slapton Sands in Devon, England, and that's on the southern coast of England. They determined that the topography around Slapton Sands was very similar to what it was going to be at Utah Beach. So in 1943, they evacuated all the citizens from this little town of Slapton Sands and prepared to do a mock assault on the beach there. So there were basically two parts of this. One day they had a practice assault, and they did it with live fire. So they simulated. Well, they didn't simulate. They actually had live fire coming in from naval vessels, and that's what would happen when they actually had the D-Day invasion too. So there was a miscommunication, and some assault craft that were supposed to wait an extra hour didn't get the word, so they assaulted the beach while the live fire was going on. And an undetermined number of soldiers and sailors were killed in that live fire incident. It's estimated that about 100 were killed. So the next part was they had a convoy of about 10 ships with 30,000 troops. Most of them were from the 4th Infantry Division, and that's the division that was going to attack Utah Beach. So they left at night, and just like they did on D-Day. They steamed around the channel for a while and came in early in the morning into Slapton Sands. Unknown to them, German patrol boats watched the convoy coming in, and they actually attacked the convoy and sank two LSTs. The LSTs are the ships that can pull right up to the beach and open up the front, and tanks and troops and trucks and whatnot can come out. So they sank two of the LSTs, damaged a couple others, and over 600 sailors and soldiers were killed. And one of the things and this is how you learn, the soldiers put on their life vests improperly, so that when they were dunked into the water, they were upside down and they couldn't right themselves, and that's how a lot of them drowned. So it was just a complete disaster. They were supposed to be escorted by Royal Navy ships, but only one of them made it. There were communications issues between the American communications and the British communications, and so it was just a case of, what can go wrong will go wrong. So
did it give them, Rick Bigelow, did it give them pause and say, hey, maybe we can't do this?
I don't know that it gave them that kind of pause. I think it said, we've got things to fix.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was going to happen. It was so important that this happened because, Stalin had been after Churchill and FDR to open up the second front in Europe. And there was concern that if we didn't do D-Day, Stalin and Hitler were going to come to some sort of impasse, and Hitler would have just moved all his troops into Western France.
Yeah.
And that would have made D-Day 10 times tougher than it became anyway. So I think there was a feeling on the part of the people, okay, we've got things to fix, but we've got to go on D-Day. So, I mean, the real pressure here wasn't the weathermen.
Yeah.
The real pressure was on the young soldiers and officers and sailors who had basically been in England for a year and a half, training for what everybody knew was going to be a cross-channel invasion. And a lot of the soldiers who were in that invasion had taken part in North Africa and Sicily and Italy, and they knew what can happen in an amphibious invasion. So that's the real pressure from my point of view. The real pressure was on the soldiers and sailors who were going to make it all happen.
Rick Bigelow, there's some discussion and controversy even to this day. Now that Slapton Sands came out relative to the movie, was it covered up, or was it just something that in a patriotic way they didn't want to report on it?
Well, they didn't want to report on it before the invasion because if the New York Times had headlines that said D-Day practice invasion is a disaster.
Yeah.
Well, that would have told the Germans what was going to happen. So, I mean, everybody knew they had to keep it very quiet. And they actually did discuss it in some of the post-D-Day reports. They said 4,400 were killed in the invasion, and several hundred were killed in practice invasions. And they didn't say it was at Slapton Sands, but they admitted it. And there were articles in some of the professional military publications and even in good old Stars and Stripes that there had been a serious accident.
Yeah.
But it really didn't become known until the 1980s when some people in southern England decided to make a memorial and let people know exactly what had happened at Slapton Sands.
But this exercise was critical to the eventual success of D-Day.
Absolutely, and there were other exercises too. What they did was they looked for beaches in England or Ireland, Northern Ireland, that were very similar to the D-Day beaches. And the further north they could make them, the better, because then they'd be out of the range of the German reconnaissance flights. But Slapton Sands was on the southern coast of England, and it just so happened that these German S-boats, patrol boats, happened to be in the area. Now, frankly, they had spies too, and they had intelligence, so they may have broken some codes and figured out what was going to happen and sent their boats. You don't know that for sure, but that's a definite possibility.
Rick, a question off subject, but to answer quickly. Having watched Pressure, a lot of people told me, and it didn't seem like the essence of Ike was captured in the portrayal.
I don't think that was a particularly good portrayal of Ike at all. I mean, he was known for being very calm, and very professional about the whole thing. Once in a while he would blow up, and of course he was getting a lot of pressure from Churchill and from Marshall, and to his credit, FDR went through Marshall. He didn't go directly to Ike like Churchill did all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it was a mischaracterization to some degree.
Well, a good movie, but I said this on Monday, watching those then kids do the D-Day invasion, it was overwhelming. It was emotionally overwhelming, the end of that movie. It truly was.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Rick Bigelow, thank you so much. Slapton Sands, something we don't want people to forget. There were sacrifices other than those on D-Day for the success of D-Day. Thank you, Rick Bigelow. Appreciate it, man.
Glad to do it, Bob.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. This date, 1972, Murph tells us David Bowie. He kicked off the second leg of his legendary Stardust tour with the first of two historic nights at London's Rainbow Theatre, Finsbury Park. This landmark performance revolutionized rock music, Murph says, by introducing multimedia and theatrical elements to a live rock show. Ziggy Stardust live. Bob Cordaro back. Bulldog, let's play this sickening Josh Shapiro thing, please. Play it with Stacey Garrity following up on it. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, and this day, as with every day. Brought to you by our man, John Basiliga. On Wednesdays, we start to talk about and think about and go to the great restaurants, bars, and other facilities that are part of the Basiliga Hospitality Group. Fine dining without parallel in Northeast Pennsylvania, and I will tell you, beyond. A Terra 519, downtown Scranton. One of the most incredible dining experiences you will ever have. New chef, Alex Diaz, making it happen. Affordable options from their great happy hour to their bar menu. A Terra 519, experience it economically. That's what I do. Love it. One of the most gorgeous restaurants you'll ever go in. And then there's an old world take on the same incredible dining experience, and that's the Stegmeyer Mansion. Downtown Wilkes-Barre. An old world take in the Mary Stegmeyer Mansion. A great event space, but one of the most beautiful and one of the neatest restaurants you will ever go to. Top quality at both Stegmeyer and Terra. First rate, through and through. Joseph DePietro. I grew up going to church and seeing Mr. DePietro. He was 93 when we lost him July 23rd. He was from Dunmore. He's survived by his wife, the former Roseanne Tota. The couple had celebrated 60 years of loving and devoted marriage just in July. Born in Oliphant, originally from Guardia Lombardy, Italy. He was a graduate of Oliphant High School, and prior to retirement, he was employed at the Tobyhanna Army Depot and Supermarket Services. He was a member of St. John Paul II Parish in Dunmore. That's the parish in Dunmore. I love the name they chose for it. He honorably served the United States Army from 1953 to 1955 during the Korean War era. He attained the rank of sergeant while assigned to the tank company in support of the 123rd Infantry Regiment at Fort Lewis, Washington. During his retirement, Joseph liked to spend time with family and friends and participated in his family's annual tradition of making homemade wine. He used his skills as a jack of all trades to build, fix, and solve countless problems at his favorite place, the garage. Joseph was a gifted tradesman, working during his career as a mechanic, equipment operator, truck driver, bricklayer, carpenter. He was a kind man who loved his family and would always strive to do what was right. In addition to his wife surviving, many other family members, cousins, nieces, a brother, dear friends, and many other people. He was preceded in death tragically by his only child and beloved son, Joseph, known as Dookie. Joseph DePietro, a good and kind man I looked up to my entire life. That's the Veterans Tribute brought to you by our great friends at a Terra 519 in the Stegmeyer Mansion, part of the John Basiliga and Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast, well, it's a great day for the water park at Montage, and that's why they're bringing the forecast. Sun followed by some clouds. It'll be 84 degrees today. Tonight becoming cloudy, humid, low 63. Tomorrow, periods of rain and a thunderstorm possible. High 75, low 55. Friday, partly sunny and warmer. High 85, low 59. Saturday, pleasant with sunshine. Some clouds, high 79, low 64. Sunday, mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm. High 80, low 55. And that's your Weta, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain, where the water park and the indoor arcade are in full swing. And they've got amazing specials to close out the summer, now's the time to go where it's 74 degrees. Ronald Reagan, 1992, one of his last public speeches. Well, you know what this song means. It means Tina Morocco's in the house. Global sales advisor at Sotheby's International, Naples, Florida. She's your trusted guide for Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You could get in contact with her through Sotheby's in Naples or go right to the source. Tina Morocco, Muracco, TinaMorocco.com, or Tina Morocco on any social media. And here she is. Hi, Tina.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Well, we don't need you for your weather today.
No.
We're doing pretty well, at least for today.
Good. Let's keep that up.
All right, well, what do you got for us, my dear?
So the other day I was meeting with some of my customers that have been in Naples now for about a year, and they were talking about buying a boat. And so they were asking me all kinds of questions about buying a boat. I've had
By the way, I love that fact. I love that fact about you, which has been repeated by a number of clients of yours, that you don't go away after they buy a house through you. You're available for literally forever. I love that. But anyway,
so you're stuck with me.
Yeah.
How about that?
We'll continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they're just, exploring options, and they know that we've had a couple boats. My husband and I have had a couple boats since we moved to Florida, but we're currently boatless. And so they were like, what do you think about buying a boat? Do you think I should buy a boat? Now, these people are here probably 6 months a year in Naples, and they're in Oklahoma the other part of the year. And so I was like, well, why don't you, since you're not here full time and you're not going to use the boat a lot while you're here, why don't you explore one of the boat clubs? And they were like, what in the world? What do you mean a boat club? And I said, well, there's boat clubs, not just in Naples, but all over Florida and Southwest Florida, that you have like an initiation fee, you have a monthly fee, but then you just call to reserve your boat. And there's all different kinds of boats that you can reserve. And so you just pick up the boat. You're not responsible for cleaning the boat. You just basically pick it up. They'll train you on how to use the boat. They have classes. But it's a great way to have a boat whenever you want and not have the responsibility of, actually owning the boat, having the insurance, having to clean it, take care of it, all of that. So one of the boat clubs we have around here in Naples is the Freedom Boat Club. And so as I was looking at this Freedom Boat Club, you guys have it at Lake Wallenpaupack. So not only if you're a member of the Naples, version of the Freedom Boat Club, you can still use it in Lake Wallenpaupack. You can use it. Actually, they have global locations. So it's a lot of fun to be able to have that freedom with the boat.
Amazing. So you don't have to own one.
You don't have to own one, no. And so you basically just call and say, I'm on my way, or tomorrow I'm planning to come with the crew to get a boat. And so you can get a pontoon boat, you can get a fishing boat, you can get, whatever. So you don't own it; you just use it for the day.
And you know
And
what
so, how great is that?
they say? The best days of a boat owner's life is the day he gets it and the day he gets rid of it.
Right.
There's your
Right.
solution once
There's your
again
solution.
from our girl Tina Morocco. I love it. That is
Yeah.
a really neat idea. Love it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, thank
Enjoy
you,
the
Tina.
water while you're in Southwest Florida, but also in Pennsylvania.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Tina Morocco. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yeah, take care.
We'll talk to you later in the week. 10:44 on my Ricardo's watch. We'll be right back. This date, 1974, Murph tells us Reunion released their only top 10 charts hit with Life is a Rock, but the radio rolled me. I thought it was the radio told me. I learn something from Murph every day. And by the way, think of it. What's the song we play for Monday musings, Bulldog. Billy Joel. What the? Yeah, we didn't start the fire. Shades of that years before Billy Joel did it. Isn't that neat? Really cool. As we head to the Bloomberg Money Minute, let's go quickly here. People want their AI, YouTube, cat videos, email, everything from the data world and the convenience it brings, that Amazon, etc., but they don't want data centers. Where's it all going to come from? Thin air? People just do not know how the world works. Amen. Somebody else, Shapiro got $5 million in campaign donations from data center developers. Yes. Crazy stuff. It's really something. And by the way, because of the people who are against them so vociferously, I am beyond suspicious of the opposition other than neighbors. 10:50 on Ricardo's Watch. We'll be back after Bloomberg and some Bob Seger, Murph tells us this date, 1978. Hard to believe it's that long ago. Moving up the charts with his hit Hollywood Nights. Bob Cordaro back with you. Tom texts in. Tom from Dallas. Where is it here? Let's find it quickly. My apologies. I get so many texts that it just, the thing just keeps rolling on me. But he's saying basically, he said, we're going to remember, I hope, Biden as the guy who pardoned Fauci, the criminal, the disgraceful criminal. Yeah. Think about our hometown hero, Joe Biden, will be remembered in history as the president that pardoned Fauci. Yesterday, I believe it was, I saw this, and JB sent it to me and reminded me. David Morens, Dr. Fauci's former senior advisor, has pled guilty to conspiracy to defraud the United States. Morens helped Fauci cover up the truth about COVID, got rich with Fauci while putting American lives in danger. Unbelievable. This pardon is a sickening disgrace that's in keeping with the disgusting Joe Biden. Yeah, we got a hometown hero banner. Great job, Green Ridge Neighborhood Association. You're a bunch of asses. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. They won't take it down. And it gets worse. The Biden disgrace becomes worse. And this Fauci scam is a huge part of it. By the way, just mentioning, Roach Supply, they are bringing us the live stream. I've got my all-time great soccer shirt on today. But they are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years they've been getting it done. 96-year-old Ron Roach for about 75 of those years. Visit roachsupply.com today or stop by their store in Honesdale or Chapman Supply. Just drove by there yesterday. Chapman Supply in South Abington Township, right past the Notch. Roachsupply.com is the other option, ROCHE. Great place, great people, and they get it done. So as we approach the top of the hour, you want to think about, I want to reiterate this. It bears repeating ad nauseum. Today's Democrat Party, the Page Cognettis et al., left-wing lunatics, the people who want to mutilate children, the people who want open borders, the people who want criminals out on the streets, the people who want illegals to stay in this country, whether they're criminals, pedophiles, rapists, doesn't matter. They want them to stay in this country. They want to get rid of immigration control. All of those issues, because the money comes from there. The billionaires and billionaire groups like Arabella, the Soros family, full-fledged contributors, total max contributors to Page Cognetti. They want to destroy this country. Sing 'em, another communist. And that's the sad part. And they've now linked up with Islamists who also want to destroy this country as it was founded and institute Sharia law instead of the U.S. Constitution. And that's not all Muslims. Let's not get carried away with any of these things. Just as I tell you with any of these groups, the lunatics who are the leaders, like Cognetti, are not emblematic of all of them. Like, she's not emblematic of all Democrats. She's on the lunatic left. That's why Soros, the Soros family, and the sicko who threw the fundraiser at his house for Page Cognetti, this Goldman fool, whose main issue is the mutilation of children and making sure that hospitals and hospital groups get paid to mutilate kids with gender dysphoria. Wow. What a sickening group. And the Islamists are going to use the left, they're going to use the Page Cognettis to take over. Because they're, in addition to being stupid, they're weak. All right, 11 o'clock on my Cordaro Jewelers watch. We'll take this break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We will return. You know it, baby. Great good morning, everyone. It's 11:08 a.m. on my Cordaro Jewelers watch. This beautiful Wednesday, August 19, year of our Lord, 2026, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show, and I am he. And it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like the veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today, thanks to John, like Joseph DePietro of Dunmore via Oliphant, Louis Nardella, the Bull's Head section of North Scranton, and Wayne Baker, Bloomsburg via Benton. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. And just a reminder, the Bob Cordaro Show has just been approved by the Food and Drug Administration of RFK as your proven cure for idiocy. Listen, we will cure you. I promise we can. But you've got to listen, or hearken, as I prefer to say. Mother Teresa, St. Teresa for August 19. She says, let us insist more and more on raising funds of love, of kindness, of understanding, of peace. Money will come. If we seek first the kingdom of God, the rest will be given. St. Teresa, Mother Teresa, for today, August 19. Well, we've been following, and it's unusual. And I don't know what the larger implications are. I'm guessing the larger implications are that mental health treatment in this country, and probably medical treatment as a whole, is incredibly disjointed. And it's too much based on medications. It's exactly what Maha and RFK and Trump are doing. They're saying this is crazy. From the vaccine schedule to all of it. It's out of hand. It's being driven by profit motive and the drug companies and big pharma. They're saying, hey, oh no, make them take 60 shots, the kids. In this case, Lindsay Clancy was apparently on 13 different, and these are powerful medications. And now she's on trial after killing her 3 children. And there has been no denial of that. A lot of people, including Cutie, said, what about the husband? He did not explain what he did and where he was and all this other stuff. I heard someone on a program yesterday, WILK, essentially saying he's the one who did it. With some credibility, I might add. Fascinating. Well, we've got an expert here. And this is criminal defense attorney Dominic Morocco, former prosecutor in Harrisburg, and then for the U.S. attorney in Washington, D.C. He is with us now. And Dominic, first of all, how are you, friend?
Bob, good to be with you. Thank you.
We got to get a theme song for you because I could tell we're going to have you back over and over again. So
good idea. We'll think about one.
Start thinking maybe L.A. Law, whatever. You've got to think of something with me. Anyway,
Will do.
Let's get to the Lindsay Clancy trial. The defense is presenting its case. I felt and guessed that it was going to be heavily based on experts, and obviously the psychiatrist, psychologist that had seen her after the murder. Update us on the trial, and then give us your thoughts.
Sure, Bob. So since we last spoke on Friday, probably the biggest development was that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts rested their case. And so for the first couple of weeks, through 70 or so witnesses, we largely heard from the state about what happened. And now, as you mentioned, as the defense is putting on their case, and perhaps more importantly to the jury, we're starting to hear through the defense expert testimony why it happened. Because as we chatted about on Friday, this was never really a whodunit case. It was always a why did she do it case, and that's what the defense is attempting to show through their experts. I imagine they're going to call several. I think they're already on their second or third as we're speaking today. And I would imagine, probably come close to guaranteeing, that after the defense rests their case, the Commonwealth will then call their own experts to rebut any testimony that the defense provided. Because the defense major goal, Bob, is going to be to demonstrate that Lindsay Clancy was incapable of forming the necessary criminal responsibility to commit these crimes, as we're seeing through what they're presenting to date.
When the prosecution brings rebuttal witnesses, which is their right, will they be different than the people they called in their case in chief?
It could be a little bit of both, Bob. It depends on what they're trying to rebut. If I was the prosecutor, and I was for quite a long time at several levels, I would hope that I would have some different folks to rebut the claims of the defense experts, because a jury may be thinking, and not necessarily aware of the procedural aspects, et cetera, but a jury may be thinking, if they call someone again, we already heard from this person. Two things. Why are they calling them again? And if they're really needed, why didn't this individual bring out testimony that was needed during their initial testimony and not wait until later? And it's one of these games, Bob, and it's like very difficult to understand what a jury is going to latch onto as the most important aspects of the case, even though there are certain elements. A lot of times it hinges on what they deem to be valued versus what actually the attorneys believe it to be.
And it seems like the prosecution's expert witnesses, I'm putting it in air quotes because we're on live stream with Roach Supply, it seems like they've been burned too, don't they?
It has, for sure. I mean, the defense attorney is doing a fantastic job through cross-examination, challenging some of their aspects, both from a treatment perspective, a common sense approach, an organizational argument about the amount of documents they had, et cetera. But the one thing the prosecution has in favor for their case, Bob, as they call these experts or called these expert witnesses, is that the healthcare providers the prosecution presented all treated Lindsay Clancy prior to the event, contemporaneous to the murders, and they had a firsthand chance to evaluate her, examine her, interact with her, deduce information, diagnose her, treat her, whereas the defense witnesses and the defense experts either never examined her at all, or if they did, it was only after the act was committed. And so the prosecution would argue just that, is that they don't know what was taking place in the woman's mind prior to the acts. They're only coming in after the fact to offer these defense theories.
As lawyers, we get to criticize other lawyers, and I'm hesitant to, but in this case, I love the manner of the defense attorney. He seems central casting for his role in trying to get her declared innocent by or not guilty by reason of temporary insanity. I'm not terribly impressed with the prosecutors.
Yeah, I agree with you, Bob, on two fronts. Number one, hesitancy towards commenting on the quality of other attorneys, but having done it for a long time, just my observation is exactly what you said.
Plus, we need you to do it, by the way.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. But what I'll say is this, and having had warned the prosecutors had for many trials, including many homicide trials, I'm finding it very odd the number of witnesses and what I'll call accumulation evidence that the prosecution is introducing as far as the murder itself and the killing of the three children. Clearly, they have to prove that.
Yeah.
But they're focused so much on the act, it almost looks like they're trying to inflame the jury by continuously talking about it. And I think they've made their point. And Bob, you may have heard this before, but it's like a common saying. It's like a good trial lawyer knows when they made their point, but a great trial lawyer knows when to stop making it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, especially at the end of the Commonwealth case, they were just focused on the heinous act itself and perhaps lost the overall quality of their case by ignoring the criminal responsibility elements.
Is there any way in a trial like this that the defense could have essentially stipulated, yeah, she killed them, and avoided a lot of the excruciating details that the prosecution's using?
Great question, Bob, and the answer is an emphatic yes. And in fact, that was actually done in this case. I mean, well prior to the television audience here and well prior to the trial, the defense attorney did file such a motion, trying to sever criminal liability from the criminal responsibility aspect. We see it often in civil cases where you separate liability from damages, but rarely in criminal cases is the motion filed, and certainly even more rarely is it granted. But he tried to do this here, saying there's no dispute. She killed her. We all know it. The only issue was why. But the judge, for whatever reason, chose to deny that motion. And that's why we're here at the normal stages of trial where the prosecutor proves who did it and then the defense attempts to attack that.
And that's a decision that obviously the defense could appeal as part of their overall appeal if they're not successful.
That's correct. Yeah. And one other thing, importantly, that the defense counsel did, and every defense counsel in every case should do this, is after the Commonwealth rested, the defense attorney made what's called a motion for a directed verdict. In other words, he said that based upon everything that's been presented, no reasonable person could find Lindsay Clancy guilty because they failed to meet their burden. Of course, the judge denied that, and 99.9% of the time they do, because the standard for that type of motion, Bob, as you probably know, is when the judge examines what was presented by the prosecutors, he or she has to give every reasonable inference in favor of the government's case. And so he denied that. But defense attorneys commonly do that to build and preserve their rights for appeal, depending upon the outcome of the verdict.
Well, Dominic, we're going to keep in touch with you on this trial, the Lindsay Clancy trial. Thank you so much for your insight. And by the way, if there's anything you want to share, just dip in here when I'm on the air, and we'll talk about it. I appreciate it.
Happy to do that, Bob. Look forward to talking with you in the audience sometime soon.
All right, Attorney Dominic Morocco. He'd be my criminal defense attorney if he wasn't around when I needed him, but he's here now. Thanks, Dominic.
Bob, always good to be with you.
All right, man. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Guns N' Roses, this date, 1988, they moved up to number 2 with their hit Sweet Child of Mine. That's what Murph tells us, so we do it. Bob Cordaro back with you. Oh, sad news. Our man Joe Barna, our Korean War combat veteran, the guy we've had on, I had him on my TV show. I tell you to watch this. Go to the Bob Cordaro Show on TV. Look at the episode with Joe Barna. It is amazing. We interviewed him so many times on the radio. We lost him this morning about 5 a.m. Frank Balin, his dear friend and the guy who really saw to Joe's needs, let me know that just now. Oh, tragic. And he was just great. We're gonna obviously find some clips from him to play coming forward, but we got something that we want you to hear, and it's Joe Balin. We lost him today at 5 a.m. Joe Barna. We lost him this morning. You know, he had been ill, and then he bounced back, and we had him on. And he got ill again, and 95, 96 years old, it just caught up with him. But what a great spirit. We'll be talking about him a little bit more tomorrow as we have time to find clips of Joe on this show. And I urge you, go to Bob Cordaro Show on TV and look for the Joe Barna interview. He was outstanding. And you know what? Just as importantly, he became a great friend. We'll take a break. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute appropriately after this. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you by John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, consisting of 3 bar restaurants, as good as anywhere, all reimagined, all beautifully remodeled, top shelf food, top shelf service. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township, the Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Trips Park section of West Scranton, the Queen City Tavern right on the main drag in downtown Oliphant, the Stegmeyer Mansion, an old world take on one of the best dining experiences you'll ever have, a Terra 519, fine dining in a modern setting, low-key Manhattan, I call it, right in downtown Scranton. Coming soon, Coney Island Lunch. A new era of an old tradition right on Lackawanna Avenue in Scranton. And Reagan's Ice Cream Shop right next door. You will love all of them, I promise you. As we think about Joe Barna, we honor Wayne Baker. He was 92. Born in Bloomsburg, he spent his childhood in Benton. Wayne served on active duty in the United States Army in Korea, 1954 to 1956. He graduated from Bucknell University in 1958 and pursued graduate studies in accounting at Penn State. Wayne was a partner with his father in Baker and Baker Hardware Store in Benton. In 1964, he began his career in federal civil service at Olmsted Air Force Base, where he met his future wife, Mary Moore. Following its closure, Wayne and Mary moved to Washington, D.C., where he became a budget analyst for the U.S. Navy, the Peace Corps, and the Department of Housing and Urban Development before retiring in 1991. Wayne and Mary made their longtime home in Arlington, Virginia, where they raised their 3 daughters. After retirement, they also lived in North Carolina and Florida before moving to Pennsylvania in 2022. Needing more care, they moved to assisted living in Fairfax, Virginia. Wayne had a lifelong love of travel and adventure. As a child on road trips with his family, he refused a nap for fear of missing something interesting outside the window. In his retirement, Wayne cruised his own trawlers along the intercoastal waterway from the Chesapeake Bay to Miami, through Florida to the Gulf Coast. Wayne smiled and always said Mary, his wife, was a good sport about his boating ambitions. He visited all 50 states and more than 50 countries. He enjoyed gardening, tennis, reading, but his greatest pleasure was spending time with his family. He's survived by his wife, Mary, of 60 years, his 3 daughters, 7 grandchildren, cousins, nieces, and nephews. Wayne Baker, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast. Well, who sponsors this? Well, synonymous with weather. That's our gang at AccuWeather. Well, their gang at Montage. Montage with the water park in full swing. Amazing specials. Check them out on their website. I mean, you could get in cheaper than ever as the season comes to a close. It's hard to say the season's coming to a close, but take advantage of it. Today, sun followed by some clouds, high 84. Tonight becoming cloudy, humid, low 63. Tomorrow, periods of rain and a thunderstorm, high 75, low 55. Friday, partly sunny and warmer, high 85, low 59. Saturday, pleasant with sunshine, some clouds, high 79, low 64. Sunday, mostly cloudy and humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high 80, low 55. And that is your weather forecast brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Water Park, where it is 78 degrees now, becoming even more perfect I like that song. Murph tells us this date, 1992, the Spin Doctors had the #2 hit with Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. I told you a little bit earlier in the show that I visited a place last night, was invited, and Cutie and I went up to Nalla Lake, a little cocktail party in a spec house up there. To call it a hidden gem would be to understate how great it is. And I was there last night. My friend Tommy Cura had invited me. And Kate Day is his partner in the real estate biz. And I said, I got to have you guys on to talk about this place. It is so special and is such a neat concept that I said, let's talk about Nalla Lake. And I believe I've got you both. Did I press the buttons right? Tom, are you there?
Yes, I am, Bob. How are you
Kate
today?
Day, are you there as well?
I'm here, Bob. Good morning.
God, I got you both. So you guys pick in turn who wants to say. First of all, thanks for coming on. Tell us one or the other about Nalla Lake. I just thought it was, what a slice of heaven.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Tommy.
Thank you. So Nalla Lake is a slice of heaven. It's an idea or a vision of Jonathan Kalazinski, who's a developer and designer. It's a 40-acre lake that he is building only 4 homes on. And it's extremely private. The first one we revealed last night, Bob, you were there. It was great to see you. Everybody was excited that you were there. It's a $2.3 million package between a 2.5-acre lot along with the home. What's unique about the home itself? It's a modern mountain design, and you see these designs out west, Montana, Big Sky, even in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and this is the first of its kind in our area. So it's as you can see, it was just expansive and beautiful, overlooking the water, and it faces west, so the sunsets are just amazing. Yeah. So it's all of that. The lake has like $100,000 worth of stock fish in it. It's beautiful. You could see like 7 feet into the water. It's paradise. It's paradise.
When they were looking to develop this, Kate Day, somehow you guys got involved, and you decided to go big with really high-end homes. I mean, it's not. I said to the audience earlier, I said I can never afford it, but it certainly gives me something to dream about. But for those few who could afford this, it is just an awesome setting right in Dalton, right off 81.
That's the special thing about it. It really, this new, development, it just proves that you don't have to choose between a private escape and a convenient yet connected life here in Northeast Pennsylvania, right? What Jonathan created and what we brought to the market is something really intentionally rare. And that's what we really enjoy about it. We do have so many hidden gems here in Northeastern Pennsylvania and such a variety of people. That to bring something like this to the market, I think is such a blessing for the whole area.
You decided to do a little sort of gathering at the Spec House, which was really lovely, and I thank you guys for inviting me. And just so the audience knows, I'm not getting paid for this. By the way, if you guys want to send a check, feel free. But I was just so impressed with it. I said, we have to have you guys talk about it. Tom, this is right in the middle. You're just starting now. There's the Spec House and really only 2 other lots available on this beautiful little lake.
Yeah, there'll be 3. So the next 2 lots are 4.5 acres, and then the last lot is 18 acres. But and it's a HOA, so the grounds, the lake. The plowing, the lawns would all be taken care of by the HOA. but it's very unique. And the way we're positioning this is it's at the gateway to the Endless Mountains.
Yeah.
Revolve Real Estate has always been a leader in the market in so many ways, and this is just another way that Revolve is leading. We are really positioning the Endless Mountains as a destination location. We think it's a huge asset to the region that's been under-marketed, and a lot of folks that live out there probably like it that way. But when you compare it to Montana or even Colorado or even like which we did some research in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They have nothing on the beauty and the landscape and the natural beauty and the Susquehanna River and all those beautiful vistas in the Endless Mountains. It's there.
So
we're just going to.
Kate Day, Nala Lake it's up, running, ready for action. They could get to Revolve Real Estate, talk to you guys about it. Is there a separate website for Nala Lake as well, or just go through Revolve?
Well, absolutely. So if you go to revolvepa.com/Nala, which is NALLA, you will get to see everything about the community. And we just got the professional photos back early this morning of this brand new home, and we're going to be uploading that today as well.
Neat.
So everybody can see all the pictures of this house that we've been talking about coming to the market for so long. And if people like it and they love the idea of basically being one of four on a giant private motorboat lake, we can build something custom for them on one of the next lots.
Amazing. I just laud you and the developer for doing this. It is great stuff. Nala Lake it's going to be an incredibly special place for people to live, whether they're from Northeast Pennsylvania or it's a second home. But it could certainly be your primary home based on, what are you, a quarter of a mile from Route 81? Right? It's amazing. It's an amazing place. Revolve Real Estate, Tom Cura, Kate Day, thank you so much. I just wanted you to come on and brag about it.
Thank you so much, Bob.
That was so nice.
We had so much fun with you last night.
Yeah, and you're a great promoter of the region, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you.
Well, this is why we can promote the region, developments like this. It's very exclusive, but I'm sure it's only your first act.
That's right. We're just getting started.
More to come. Thank you both. Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, we'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Nickelback. Murph tells us this date, 2005. They moved into the top 10 at number 10 with their hit Photograph. And we're going to finish today with a song I just love, Looking Glass. Murph tells us this date, 1972. They had the number 2 hit with Brandy, You're a Fine Girl. Love the song. And I said, yeah, let's finish with it. And I think about it. We're going to do a lot about Joe Barna tomorrow. We've got our regular show, but we'll do a lot about Joe Barna, the Korean War combat veteran who I've had on so many times on this program. I thought he would just be with us forever. I'm devastated, but at the same time, I'm so happy that I got to know him and befriend him and be able to record him for all of you and for the world. He's available on YouTube on the Bob Cordaro Show on TV. My interview with Joe Barna. It's really he was something else. He was great, and I'm not going to let him be missed because we're going to talk about him. You know, we're going to talk about him a lot, as much as we can, and certainly do that tomorrow with a couple interviews and some other things. But Joe Barna, who passed away this morning about 5 a.m., our Korean War combat hero. We'll talk about him a lot tomorrow. Hey, Jay Gillen's on the blower, calling about the Hero Golf Tournament and an update for that. This is the benefit Tunnel to Towers, and it's down where, what golf tournament or what golf place are you at, Jay?
Hey, good afternoon, Bob. Appreciate you taking my call.
Happy.
Yeah, we're doing Blue Ridge Trail.
Blue Ridge Trail. How did I forget that?
Monday.
I get these brain farts. I'm thinking about my man Joe Barna we just lost, and I just couldn't come up with the name of Blue Ridge Trail. Great golf course.
Oh, it's beautiful. I was just there today. It's gorgeous. They're in great shape. Your company, which has been outstanding for us, and we just drove it to the next level, has signed on the great Road Scholar Transport as a title sponsor.
Oh, they're the best.
I can't be more happy.
The Barrett family are the best. They are really true Americans, a great American company.
They've supported me the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just outstanding, you know. But we're going to build Monday. I'm going to have fire trucks coming through when we go shotgun, all that. You know how fire trucks, they make an entrance. They love it.
At the golf course. Cool. How neat.
Yeah. I've got corrections. I got PD. I got FDNY. I've got veterans. I've got a bunch of people playing. This year is going to be awesome. Froggy 101 website. Call me. Down to the wire, though. If you want to play, I need to know, like, in the next day or two.
And when is it? Monday?
Monday, yes, sir.
How neat. Oh, God.
8:30 registration, 10 o'clock shotgun. We have food. We have baskets. My stepdaughter, Kaylee, has just done a fantastic. We got 60 baskets. We got Michael Kors purses. We've got great whiskey baskets with cigars. Oh. It's we got Blackstone grills. We've got smokeless fire pits. I've got a foosball table from the soccer thing. Like, I'm not a big soccer guy.
FISA, whatever. But
yeah.
So in other words, you got a lot of great stuff. Jay Gillen, absolutely. I'm telling you, this Hero Golf Tournament to benefit Tunnel to Towers, you created it out of thin air, and it's becoming huge. How great.
Yeah. I'm very excited. My team has just been awesome, executing everything. It's just great. And you guys adding on to this is just blown it up, and I'm excited to see how we do Monday.
Well,
Thank you very much for everybody.
Do not hesitate to check in on Friday or Thursday, but maybe Friday, just to mention it again, because we're all in on this. I love it. I'm so happy Froggy's involved. But you're doing a great thing for Tunnel to Towers, and Tunnel to Towers it's just one of the premier charities in the country. It really is.
Oh, it's awesome. I love them. All right, sorry. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, Monday at Blue Ridge Trail Golf Course. It's not too late to sign up for the Hero Golf Tournament. Where do they find it? It's a website, right?
Oh, Froggy 101.
Oh, go to Froggy 101's website.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. That's even better.
It got my cell phone number. My cell phone number is blasted to everybody.
All right, Jay. Thank you for doing it, and thanks for reminding us about it. And maybe we'll talk again on Friday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, brother.
Bye.
So as Brandy is sung, we think about our man Joe Barna, who was lost today. And, man, somebody says, sad to hear about Joe. My condolences to his family. May Joe rest in peace. And someone else texting in, me too. I'm glad you got to share Joe with us. I always enjoyed listening to his stories. No matter how many times I heard them before, I still love to hear them again. I'm with you on that. Author, warrior, raconteur, great guy, patriot, true American, Joe Barna. Man, will we ever see his like again? I don't know. On that note, we will gavel to a close. Today's meeting in the Club for Common Sense. Tomorrow, God willing, we'll be with you to talk more about Joe Barna and everything else that matters to you. Have a great afternoon, guys.